Thank you very much, Tamika. A lot of people are concerned about their plants during this freeze, and we want to check in with Dan Gill. Horticulturist Dan Gill joins us by phone to talk about what we can do to protect our plants now and determine whether or not they can be saved. And Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sally Ann. How y'all down there?
Great. Well, how unusual is this for our plants, this kind of weather we've been experiencing?
Well, you know, we had similar temperatures back in 2010 in January. So 4 years ago, it was about the same. So, you know, I can't say this is like, oh, 1 in a decade or 1 in 15 years or anything. We're going to get temperatures in the mid-20s in the New Orleans area on occasion through the years, and our tropical plants certainly take a blow, but we have great recovery in our landscapes, and so they usually bounce back pretty well with some losses. There's some very tender tropicals that people try to grow in their yards, and when we have temperatures like this, they may lose them. But for most of the other tropical plants, they're going to bounce back from this.
Well, we have some questions for you. Donald Abear wants to know, he says, my Myers lemon tree and orange trees dropped all their leaves. Have I lost them?
Likely not. The lemon trees are among the least hardy. People don't realize that the citrus vary in their hardiness. Kumquats and satsumas are the most hardy. They haven't been bothered that much on the South Shore by temperatures in the mid-20s. Then we have oranges. Grapefruit are next in their lack of hardiness. And then lemons and limes are the least hardy. So if you see a variation in how your citrus have reacted, it's pretty much because of that difference in hardiness. So if you do experience temperatures in the low 20s or certainly the upper teens on the North Shore, you're going to see some damage, some leaf damage, particularly on the more tender ones. But I suspect that on the South Shore, the citrus should recover. We'll know by spring when the new growth starts coming out in March. You should expect to be optimistic to see new growth come out. One thing about citrus, the damage cannot show up until midsummer. So if you do see cold damage on your citrus, that is some dead branches or killed back branches, wait until July to prune those off. It gives the trees a chance to recover.
And then there are those who are concerned about their palms. One of our viewers said her palms look like they're dead. How do you know?
You know, it helps to know where you are these days, because, you know, where you are depends on, means the temperatures that you've seen. And so on the North Shore, the temperatures have been quite a bit colder than on the South Shore. So I have to kind of divide my answers between the two, and knowing where somebody is helps me understand a little bit better about what they can expect. On the North Shore, a lot of the palms have brown fronds. Those queen palms on the North Shore may have been killed by the temperatures, so I'm not real optimistic about queen palms on the North Shore. But on the South Shore, the temperatures have stayed in the low to mid-20s. And at those temperatures, we simply don't really lose a lot of the palms. So the queen palms may get brown fronds. You can trim those off in the spring, but I would expect to see the queen palms coming back on the South Shore. Robellini palms or the dwarf pygmy palm, another really tender palm. If you see brown fronds on the South Shore, trim those off. I'm hopefully optimistic, but the Robellinis are a little bit more tender. All of the other palm species that we grow should be fine through these freezes, despite the damage to their fronds.
And one of our viewers, Valerie, wants to know if her bird of paradise will come back.
Bird of paradises are remarkably hardy. The orange-flowered, shorter-growing bird of paradise will tolerate temperatures into the teens. Now, the foliage will get burned off, but the rhizomes and roots will survive, and they'll regenerate new growth in the spring. So feel free to trim off all those brown leaves from those herbaceous plants like bird of paradises, gingers, cannas, all those different herbaceous plants that we grow. You can trim all that off, but I do expect to see the beautiful bird of paradises come back. They won't bloom as well this coming summer if they freeze back, but they will survive.
That's good news for those who have the bird of paradise, and thank you very much, Dan, for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. Y'all stay warm down there.
All righty. We're going to try.